What up guys, welcome to the first of my guides for Warlords of Draenor Alpha. I'm talking about Moonkins today. I'm going to tell you all about the changes that currently exist for Moonkins in Alpha. There are some major changes. They've changed the cycle significantly. The biggest change, the most obvious change, is the way that you now accumulate your energy is automatic as soon as you enter combat. Before, in Mists and before, whenever you cast a spell, that would cause you to accumulate energy, whether it be lunar or solar, depending on which direction you were moving in at that time. Now, it will happen as soon as you enter combat. It will start to move towards 100 lunar energy. When it gets there, it will pause for 5 seconds, and then it will start to move back towards central, the 0 point, and then it will start to accumulate solar energy and do the same thing. So the entire cycle is now 40 seconds from 100 lunar energy to 100 solar and back again. That lasts for 40 seconds. To get from 100 lunar to 100 solar will be 20 seconds, as you'd expect. So I'm just going to run through with you how that affects what you cast. When you combine that with the fact they've changed the way Star Surge works and the way shooting star procs work, you will realise that when you cast your Star Surge is important. You now only have a stack of 3 Star Surges available to you. And that shares a cooldown with Starfall as well. So when you use a Star Surge, it will then take 30 seconds to recharge, which limits the number of Star Surges you can cast. At level 100, they are instant cast, but the Shooting Star proc no longer triggers an instant cast Star Surge. A Shooting Star proc will now cause a Star Surge or Starfall to recharge immediately. Thereby increasing the number that you have available to you at that point, as long as you've used one already. So, what this means, and there's a third change that also matters, is that the more energy you have of a particular school of magic, the more damage you will do with spells from that school. So, as you achieve 100 Eclipse, as you get to 100 energy for Lunar, your Starfire, your Star Surge as well actually, your Starfire will be doing more damage, your Moonfire will be doing more damage than it would do if you only had 50 energy. What this means for your cycle? Well, as soon as I go into combat right here, I'll cast a Star Surge on this dummy. You will see my lunar energy accumulate. I will keep casting it, and as I approach 100, I'll cast a Star Surge. The Star Surge will also buff my next 2 lunar spells. I should have cast a Moonfire right there at 100 energy, and then I'm going to cast Starfire again. I will get extra damage from these Starfires because of my Star Surge cast, and now I'm moving into Solar, so I'm going to start casting Wrath. I'm going to wait till I get to 100 energy, and then I'm going to cast Star Surge. And then I'm going to dot, and then I'm going to cast Wrath again. I will now get extra damage from my next 3 Wraths because I've cast a Star Surge. That is the major change that's occurred to Star Surge, and that will obviously affect how you cast your spells. At level 100 there is a talent you can take, which you can cast. It's called... it's right here. Let me just show you it on the talent map. It's called Stellar Flare, and it's a powerful spell which benefits from both lunar and solar eclipses, dealing the most damage when they are balanced. In other words, if you're going to take that talent, you need to cast it when you reach the middle, and that's when you're going to do the most damage with it. So your cycle is effectively as follows. Once you achieve your 100 energy, you're going to cast Star Surge and the dot, and then you're going to cast Wrath, 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 and as you approach the middle, you're going to cast Stellar Flare. You're going to try and time that so you get it exactly right, but it's not always going to be perfect, I don't think. Then you're going to go into Starfire, and you're going to cast them. You're going to cast a Star Surge when you get to 100, and the dot, and then you're going to go back to Starfire again. It's unclear whether you need to cast both dots at present, because you no longer have them as separate dots. There is only either Moonfire or Sunfire, depending on which eclipse you're currently accumulating. So. But that is the major changes to the cycle. Obviously, it's going to even out your damage. Burst is going to be less significant now, because your cycle is kind of even. You're going to be casting these spells more or less the same every single cycle. The major challenges you've got as a Moonkin, I think, which has always been the case, is when you move, it's going to interrupt that cycle. And your energy is going to continue to accumulate or decrease regardless of whether you're moving or not. So timing your spells is become increasingly important. Casting them at the right times to maximise your overall damage has become increasingly important. We've lost that ability to spam Star Surge procs with Shooting Star procs. Shooting Stars now cause you to regain a stack of either Star Surge or Starfall because they share the stack cooldown. But Star Surge is currently automatically at level 100. It's automatically an instant cast anyway, but you are limited to those 3. So that's the major change. I just wanted to give you a brief description of the major changes. Those of you that are familiar with Moonkins will understand those changes straight away, because you'll know what it was like to play a Moonkin prior to WoD. And I hope that's useful for you. I'll update this and give you a second guide with more detailed information at some other time. And if anything changes, of course, I'll update you about the changes as well. But for now, thank you for checking this out. Peace.